Welcome to Charlotte's Wandering Web with your adventurous guide to the good times, Charlotte Tweed. Each week, Charlotte takes you on the journey of a lifetime to a delightful Caribbean locale where the sun never sets on your good life at a great price. And now with her muy amigo, Carib Carter, here's your host, Charlotte Tweed. Hello, hello, hello. This is Carib Carter Clues, and welcome to Charlotte's Wandering Web. And we have a treat for you today because not only do we have Charlotte, the ever delightful Charlotte down there in Ajijic, Lake Chapala, Mexico, we have the whole Tweed brood to tell us what it's like being an expat in Mexico. Charlotte and family, how you all doing?
Hi, Carter. Hey, we're all fit.
Look at that. Look at that. All right, let's do it. Charlotte, give us a quick introduction here. I know Daryl already. Hey, Daryl,
yes,
how you doing? All right, give us a quick introduction. I love it.
Well, this is my son, Brandon.
Hey, Brandon, how you doing?
How you doing?
Good.
Good.
Excellent. Excellent.
And his girlfriend, Brianna. So they're here visiting us.
Brianna, is that
Brianna.
right?
Yeah, Brianna. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, I do better with that than Ajijic or whatever it is. Yeah, Brianna. So what is going on there? When did everybody arrive? What have you been up to? Tell us about the good life at a great price down in Lake Chapala. Ajijic.
Yes, in Lake Chapala. So yesterday was their first full day. They got here the day before, late in the evening. So we took them out on a little tour around town to see what Ajijic was like. We went to the Wednesday market, which is always kind of a little crazy. And today they went out and did a little exploring on their own.
Very nice. Very, very nice. So let me ask now, first of all, is Brianna and Brandon, is this for both of you your first time in Mexico, or have you been there before?
No, I've been to a resort with my family before, but my first time like in the town kind of thing.
All right. Brandon,
Yes.
What about you?
Same for me. First
Same
time
for
in
you.
a real town, but I've been once before.
So Brianna, give us your impression of what you've seen so far, how it's been, anything unexpected or a surprise or pleasant, unpleasant, just the works.
Yeah, no, everything's been really good. I like how everyone's very friendly. Everyone will say hi to you on the street. I feel like totally safe here, so that's really nice. I don't think anything's been too surprising. We went to the market the other day, so that was really fun.
Very good. Brandon, how about you?
It's kind of a little bit different than what I was expecting, but it's like I don't feel unsafe or anything, like she said. But I like the streets are kind of crazy. They're all cobblestones and everything, so you really have to watch where you're walking. So you're like, I want to look at all the buildings and everything, but I have to look down and make sure I don't trip in a hole or something. But other than that, it's kind of what I was expecting from all the stories I've heard from my mom. Yeah.
I think most Americans expect to see Frito Bandito when they get down there. You haven't seen him, have you?
No.
Daryl, this is our first time to get to talk to you.
Yes.
What's it been like down there for you? I mean, let's see, how many months we've been doing this show, Charlotte?
I think this was our 30th episode. So wow. Yeah, 30 weeks.
30 weeks. I can't believe it. It's been great.
Yeah.
So, and this is our first time to talk to Daryl. So Daryl, what's it been like for you? We know what it's been like for Charlotte because we get to talk to her every week. But what's it been like for you living in Mexico?
It's been I don't want to say not really an eye opener, but being immersed in the town is so much more than just like Brandon and Brianna said, being out on a resort. You're very secluded. We're here. You're immersed in the town. You get to see the buildings. You get to see the culture. You get to visit food vendors on the street. You may not know what they're going to have, but we get to experience life being in Mexico. And we're fortunate in this area that there's a lot of expats in this area. So You don't feel as secluded as where we were in previous parts of Mexico, where we were the only supposed gringos. Where here we fit into the community well.
Very, very nice. Now, does anybody there speak Spanish?
Yeah, I speak a little bit. I learned it in school, so I've kind of lost it as I've grown up, but I can definitely get around well.
She does well.
What'd you say? Daryl?
She does very well.
Oh, good. Years ago, I lived in Spain, right? I don't think Charlotte knows this. I lived, I guess, almost a year in Spain, and I was the chairman of Republicans Abroad. I think they stuck me with it because they couldn't find anybody else. And I met Reagan, and Reagan said, well, I hear you're the chairman of Republicans Abroad in Spain. I said, yes, sir, I am. He said, well, I take it that that Spanish then must be your second language. And I said, Mr. President, no. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. When you're from Baltimore, English is your second language. I don't speak any Spanish at all. So you're much better than I was. Much better. Yep. So Charlotte, what are the big plans? Tell us about what is going to happen with all these wonderful folks that you have gathered. You all look great. It's just fantastic. It's just fantastic.
It's wonderful to have them here. This evening we're going to see if we can hike up to a waterfall. We had a really big rain last night, so there might be a waterfall up on the town. So we'll see what that goes like. Perhaps take them to conversational Spanish class if they want to do that. And then we plan to take a boat trip out to Mezcala Island if we can find someone to help us find the lost island.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah.
You go to Chapala, take them on a bus ride so they can experience what the bus is like from town to town. And then we're going to Tequila Town on Saturday.
Now, where are you? What was the name of it?
Tequila Town.
Tequila.
Just like the drink.
What'd you say, Brianna?
Just like the drink. It's where they make it.
Did they make tequila there?
Yes, I think there's about 5 distilleries or more there. So that's where tequila gets its name. We are in tequila country.
In tequila land. That's pretty fantastic. So you're going to get to take the tours of the, I guess they give tours just like they do like the breweries and all here in the U.S., you think?
They do. Yes, they do. In fact, from Guadalajara, you can actually book the tequila train, it's called, and you can take the train to, it's the oldest distillery in Mexico. I'm going to pronounce it wrong. I know I'm going to. Cuervo. Hey, I did pretty good.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
It's the oldest tequila distillery in Mexico. So you can go directly and tour their distillery if you take that tequila train. But we're not doing the tequila train. We've hired a private driver.
Can you do me a favor? When you get to Tequilaville, right, and you start going through those places, find out, does tequila bottles really have a worm in the bottom?
I've never seen one with.
You serious?
No.
So that's only in John Wayne movies, evidently.
I think it's like they put it in there, like it's just a novelty.
Yeah, I haven't seen that here.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to ask you to check and see if there's like each distillery has its own worm farm or something. But I guess that's just Lee Marvin in John Wayne movies that does that kind of thing. Yeah. So tonight you'll go out down into downtown Ajijic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to a restaurant you've been to before. Or you're going to branch out into something new.
Well, we were looking at a lot of them that I wanted to try are closed this evening. So we'll see what we can find. There's one called Baja Norte that I want to try that has tacos, and they're 25 pesos for a taco.
Yeah, I definitely want to try the tacos.
So I think that's where we'll head for dinner tonight. They haven't had the tacos yet, so that's the plan. We haven't eaten there yet. Yesterday we went to Tio Cinto, which is the most popular restaurant in Ajijic. So we had the fancy high-end Mexican meal last night. So,
how'd you like the food, Brandon?
It was really good. Yeah.
It was really good.
very reasonably priced from what I hear.
Yeah, just comparing everything, like even we just got drinks today and just comparing the prices to Canada, it's like I totally understand why people would move here because it's so much better.
And it's very pleasant. What about the weather?
Yeah, no, it's been nice. It hasn't been too hot because there was the rain yesterday, so it's been kind of nice to have a little clouds because then you're not sweating and the whole time.
And you have, I guess, up in Canada, it's got to be starting to get a little chilly, right?
Yeah, we're from we live in Vancouver right now, so it's been pretty reasonable, pretty warm, but it's starting to get a little cloudy and rainy lately.
So now you're down in the excellent weather.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Daryl, what has been, so you've lived there, let's see, you've been living now there for 6 months or more, right?
More.
Yeah, 6 months. You bet.
And what has been, I mean, with Charlotte, I mean, she's totally immersed in it. It's her job. She does the wonderful magazine. By the way, folks, get that magazine. This isn't that. Charlotte, I got to tell you something. I got to interrupt myself here. I wrote a promo for the magazine today for the Offshore Club members. You'll get it tomorrow, folks. And so I was reading it again. It is, Charlotte, I'm telling you something. You are really an outstanding editor. That is a great, great magazine.
Thank
I
you.
don't even know I mean, everything about it, the articles, the pictures, the layout, it is terrific. So Charlotte, Daryl, is totally immersed, obviously, because that's a huge job. That's a real magazine. I mean, we're talking 90 pages, right? This month, the October issue. And she's got, obviously, Charlotte's Wandering Web that we get to do with her every week. But what about for you? What is day-to-day life like for you?
Well, I work online as well. I do real estate research, so I'm immersed in my duties as being a real estate researcher, and my prime focus is in the United States. So that takes up my day.
Really? Real estate research in what respect? What do you?
Well, what I do is we help people that have already went into foreclosure, and then when their house goes to foreclosure, they go to an auction at the courthouse steps in, say, Texas, Oklahoma, Nevada, wherever it may be. And these people have lost their homes, and the last known address, well, when they go to an auction, they usually get bid up to a certain price. Say a person can't pay $2,000 or $3,000 on their property taxes, the county takes them to foreclosure, and then it goes to be bid up. Once it gets bid up, it may get bid up $60,000, $70,000.
Right.
Well, that's what they call an overage, and it's rightfully due to the last owner. Unfortunately, the last owner gets a mailer from the county to the last known address, which goes to the one that was foreclosed. So we have to find these people and say, hey, you have money that's due to you from the county, and we try to research, and hopefully they have no back liens, no IRS liens, medical liens, etc. So that takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're pretty glad to hear from you.
Yeah, but a lot of people are skeptical. They might
They
think it's their uncle in Nigeria has a whole bunch of money for them, right?
Yeah, we all heard that one before. Yeah.
But the people that are receptive, they're very excited and very happy that we've reached out to them.
So you are a perfect example of the fact you really can totally work remote.
Absolutely.
Because you're Canadian, but most of your work is in the U.S. and you're doing it from Mexico.
Yep. Yeah, you bet.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic. Brianna, what about you? What do you do?
I'm a makeup artist, so I work primarily in TV and film.
No kidding. Making up movie stars to make them look better.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. I could use that. I'd like you to make me up to look like Cary Grant. That may be a bit of a stretch. I don't know. Yeah. What about you, Brandon?
Well, primarily I work at Enterprise Rent-A-Car, but I do some video editing on the side, some for stuff for my mom to do for the escape artist people.
Excellent. Well, this is just this is a real treat. I know that all of our everybody watching this has to feel the same way I do right now. That it's just wonderful to see the family together down there in Mexico. So you all going to be there for a week, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
why don't you move down there to Mexico? They have a lot better president than you do in Canada.
You know, they did get a 180-day tourist visa, so they don't have to go back. They can
There we go.
They can stay longer. Something that you may find interesting or like to hear from them a little too, Carter, is they've both spent a lot of extra time in other countries. Like Brianna has spent 2 months in Panama, a month in Bolivia, and a month in Chile. And
Wow.
Brandon spent 2.5 months in Japan. So
Brianna, what compare with us you said Panama, Bolivia, did you say?
Yeah.
And Chile.
Yeah.
Compare with what you're seeing now in Mexico with the other two countries which are in Latin America.
Yeah, I feel like everything's pretty similar. I did a mission trip, so a lot of it was like going to children's ministries or hospitals and like praying, teaching them the Bible. So it's a little different in that sense, that we were in more remote places. So we went up to the mountains in Panama where they don't really get a lot of visitors, and we did like a medical ministry there. So that was really cool. But I feel like everything's pretty much the same, besides there's a lot more like expats here. But I think it's just where we are, because there is places in Panama as well where there's expat places as well.
And have you found pretty much uniformly that the Latino people are pretty warm and friendly people?
Oh, definitely. Like everyone will invite you into their house. They'll give you food. They're very nice. Like on the streets, everyone will say hello. I find in Canada, like you don't get that at all. So everyone is very welcoming and friendly and happy to help.
Fantastic. That's what I found as well in my own life, because my wife is Honduran. And she's very accommodating and happy to help, except that she does tell me what to do all the time, which I think is a trait with a Latino woman. How about
Canadian women might be the same.
Oh, the same. Okay, I guess it must be universal then. Brandon, what about the my wife's not here, that's why I can go ahead and say that. She just went shopping. What about Brandon, what about the difference between Japan? I had no idea. I was in Japan one time in my life. The airplane touched down when I was on my way to Taiwan. But what's the different feel for the types of people?
I would say like Japanese people, they're also very friendly and very helpful, but they're not quite as open. But if you go up to somebody and say like, I'm lost or I need help, they will do everything in their power to help you, even if they don't speak a lick of English. So people wise, I would say like they're not quite as open and inviting, but still like very friendly and helpful.
And I think, Daryl, how many different, I know Charlotte and I have touched on this some. How many different countries have you lived in?
I would be almost identical to Charlotte. I don't think I've lived in any other one outside of Charlotte.
I don't think so.
No.
But it's a huge number. I mean, you all have traveled a lot through it, I think, right across Europe, right?
Yeah, in 2018 we did some extensive travel. So we landed in Rome and then leased a car and drove up through Europe, through the western side of Europe. So we spent a month in Italy, a month in Belgium, a month in Germany, drove through Austria, Netherlands. We went to the Netherlands as well, but we spent the majority of time in Belgium, Germany, and Italy.
Fantastic. All right, we're almost out of time here, but I have to ask about how you all feel, Brianna and Brandon. Are you going to go visit your mother and father, or future mother and father-in-law, whatever, in the Azores in Portugal when they go there? I think it's October, right? It's this month, right? Don't you?
Yes. These guys leave October 11th and we fly out October 15th.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
16th.
I think they should come for Christmas, but.
Oh yeah, Christmas in Portugal and the Azores. So do you all have any? You're going to be there for 6 months, I believe, right?
No, 3.
3.
Yeah.
3.
Yeah,
So
I
what do
definitely
you?
like to, but I just don't think there's enough time. And I kind of like Mexico because it's nice for me to like keep speaking the language and
Yeah,
everything's
that's true.
really accommodating and cheap. So I think I'd prefer here.
It's
Oh,
probably
that's
a lot
terrific.
harder to get to the Azores too for us.
Being they're on the western side of Canada, so they have to
Oh,
all the way across Canada. It's a little more inconvenient for them, and with
so
them
it would be.
having jobs, it's harder to get time off. But I can always still bug them.
Yeah, there we go. Well, it's been terrific. This has absolutely been terrific. Charlotte, you have anything you want to add before we sign off from this wonderful family group picture here?
No, because if I say too much, I might cry. It's just wonderful to have them here. We're so excited to have them here. We hadn't seen them since April of 2021.
Wow.
So yeah, it's long overdue. So
Long overdue. And I, Brianna and Brandon, I think you picked the perfect place to do it. Beautiful Ajijic, wherever Lake Chapala. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Thank you, guys. It was great.
Yeah,
Thank you
thank
very,
you.
very much. Charlotte, we'll see you next week.
all right,
Thank
bye.
you. All right. Wow. It's just heartwarming. It's just heartwarming. And to see them having a great time in such a wonderful place, folks, get your family and move down. Go down. Get them. Remember, see what Brianna said? She likes it there so much. I have a feeling maybe they'll end up there. So, as I tell you every week, let's do this thing.